It's love at first sight for Bablo when he spots Dimpy eating on the street. He doesn't know anything about her, except that she resides in the village where he is being held captive. When he finally meets her, will he win her over? The stage is set for Renu and Jitendra's big fat Indian wedding. The videographers introduce the family members and famous personalities in attendance. They have all come to congratulate Shohari Suraj Singh for his daughter's wedding. With a tight slap to the entertainer for discussing love, the to-be bride's uncle, Pappy Jat, makes it clear that love is a sin in their Hekri village, and only arranged marriages are allowed. Pappy is a famous gangster, and so is Renu's other uncle, Buppy, who has committed 42 murders but is roaming around freely in Jat land. They also meet Rajjo, who is a close aide. Shohari is the big gang leader they all look up to, and has earned a lot of respect in the community. When Renu is getting dressed for the celebrations, Shohari comes looking for her, to meet her before he hands her over to a stranger. Renu is scared, and starts crying while touching his feet. He feels he has found a perfect groom from a wealthy family for her, and knows that she will be safe in her new home, even if Renu doesn't know the groom. As the groom's family arrives, Shohari heads out to receive them. Renu runs away from the wedding with a man. The wedding rituals have begun, but the bride is missing. When Shohari learns about this, he is too shocked to respond, so his minions run around looking for her. They learn that Rakesh has run away with Renu, whose father has no idea about their whereabouts. He just has a photo of Rakesh's friends, who might know where he is. Shohari's men manage to find Jitesh and Karen, and kidnap them. They seem clueless about Renu after many beatings, but feel like their friend Bablo might know about it. Shohari's men were searching for Bablo too, but he has managed to stay unreachable. Shohari knows he might be the key to finding his daughter, so he instructs his men to look for him. Bablo is getting ready in a gym when he hears Shohari's men behind him. He casually walks up to them and claims he has no idea about their whereabouts. The men are agitated at this point and crush Bablo's phone, even if he wants to handle this in a civil manner. When Pappy raises his hand at him, he finally blocks it and fights back with his first punch to Ten's face, which makes him fall. The gangsters try to attack Bablo at the same time, but with some impressive acrobatics and expert moves with the help of his jacket and legs, he manages to repeatedly knock all of them down. Bablo has single-handedly injured everyone, and is about to rejoice in his victory when Ten finds a bat and hits him on his head. Bablo wakes up to hundreds of men surrounding him, asking about Renu and Rakesh. He learns that Ten hit him from behind and gives him a look, but everyone around him is more interested in learning where he is hiding Renu. Bablo claims to have no idea, and starts to leave when Shohari screams at him to stop. Shohari announces that Bablo will stay in their custody till his daughter is found. He is dragged to a basement with Karen and Jitesh, who are surprised that he got caught. Bablo knows he doesn't need enemies when he has friends like them, who revealed his location. Jitesh hugs him, and Karen pleads with him to save them. They have another roommate in their misery, Kiki, who nervously asks if he can join their group. Kiki has come to India for the first time, and was kidnapped by the goons for asking directions from them. Bablo welcomes Kiki to the group warmly, but claims he has no idea where Rakesh is. He is still optimistic about their chances of escaping. Bablo is eager to share important news with them. He remembers the girl he saw enjoying food on the street. He watches as she drops one of her earrings before she leaves with her friend. He doesn't know her name, or where she is from, but is sure he is in love. Kiki reminds him about the escape plan, so Bablo informs them about a train station nearby. He helps them leave early morning, before people wake up. They climb windows and walls, and manage to cover enough distance till Bablo spots Ten. He remembers Ten hit him from behind, so despite his friend's warnings, he goes up behind him and starts hitting him with a utensil. This wakes everyone up, but Bablo manages to run away. As he walks through the hazy forest, he backtracks when he spots the same woman he is in love with. He is mesmerized, and keeps staring at her long after she leaves. His friends are about to board the train, but stop to call out to him. They run towards him, since he clearly doesn't understand the urgency of the situation. Their escape plan is immediately foiled, since they get surrounded by Shohari's men again. Bablo and his friends are back with the kidnappers, and Rajjo comes to have a look at them. Rajjo even dares to slap Jitesh, but Bablo intervenes. Shohari is more upset with Pappy for not making sure they stay confined, and slaps him. Shohari warns Bablo against planning another escape, but his mind is made up to stay, now that he has spotted the love of his life in this village. Karen and Jitesh feel he has lost his mind, and completely ruin their plans by not moving when they were calling out to him. Bablo feels the pull of the woman he loves, and knows they need to find her first before they escape. She turns out to be Shohari's younger daughter Dimpy, but Bablo doesn't know that. Dimpy asks for Shohari's blessings before heading out, but gets stopped by the elders, who feel she should stay home now, since her sister is missing. Dimpy knows better than to argue with them, and gets more irritated when Rajjo tries to flirt with her. She wants to complain to her father, and reaches out to him when he is sitting with some men. She feels bad about people not trusting her just because her sister has run away. Shohori trusts Dimpy and knows she will never leave him. He feels even Renu would not have escaped if she hadn't been manipulated by Rakesh. He fondly remembers how both his daughters used to pull his mustache up when they were young, which is a sign of respect, and knows how much they care about maintaining his reputation. Dimpy's mind is set on going to college, but Shohori doesn't think it's a good idea either. When she leaves in disappointment, someone reminds him about the rule in their village, where people who marry for love get murdered by their family. Shohori still believes Renu did not run away willingly. Dimpy prays to her god and discusses her frustration. Her friend Shalu reminds her that she is also not as innocent as she pretends to be. Dimpy feels there's nothing wrong with white lies just to be in her college, as long as she doesn't fall in love. She just wants to win a beauty contest and finish college before she is forcefully married off in 2 years. She doesn't understand why Renu ran away, and wants her to be found. Shalu reminds her that the kidnapped men might know something about her location. Dimpy decides to ask them herself, and arrives at the window of the basement, where Bablo and the others are being held. They can't see her face, but she starts by politely asking them if they know where Renu is. Bablo tries to tease her a bit, before finally admitting he doesn't know anything. Dimpy gets angry and blames them for the problems in her house. Bablo tries to make a deal with her, and asks for her help to find a woman in the village he is in love with. She comes back to her room frustrated and kicks Shalu by mistake. They fall along with many papers, and as Dimpy starts reading one, she realizes they are love letters for Renu from Rakesh. She asks Shalu to hide them, before anyone has a chance to take a look. One letter still manages to fly away due to the wind, and lands in the hands of Buppy. He reads it, and starts moving towards Dimpy's room to ask her about it. She has managed to assemble the letters, and asks Shalu to burn them. She pretends to be unaware of the letters when Buppy asks her about them. He takes her to the balcony and asks Ten to stop Shalu, who is carrying a basket. Shalu drops the letters into the window where Bablo is staying. Ten doesn't find anything, but Buppy warns Dimpy before leaving. Bablo and his friends read the letters, and Karen shouts out to Dimpy to plot an escape plan. Dimpy is worried about them blabbering something, so she rushes towards them to seek their silence. Bablo knows he can blackmail her, and when she claims to be innocent, he points out instances in the letters that mention clearly that she knew about Rakesh and Renu all along. Dimpy is scared and decides to make a deal with him. She asks him about the description of the woman he loves. Bablo starts imagining himself with her in the snow and lovingly describes her beauty. That night, he decides to go to Shohori's house. Rajjo sulks in the house because he wants to marry Dimpy, but can't till her sister is found. Bablo easily gets out and disconnects the power in Shohori's house. When Ten goes to check, he sneaks up behind him and beats him up. With Ten locked inside, Bablo sneaks inside in the dark and starts drinking from the bottle of Rajjo's vodka, without letting him know he is in the same room. His aim is to reach Dimpy, so he assumes he has found her, but starts talking to a sleeping Shalu instead. Dimpy drags him to her room where they can't see each other's faces. Bablo is drunk and keeps falling around. Dimpy is required to check something outside, but asks him to stick to the room. When she's back, she finds Bablo taking a shower. She faces the other side as she asks him to nervously get dressed. He comes too close to her from behind and holds her waist, still thinking about the woman he loves. She is worried about anyone spotting them together, and wants him out of her room as soon as possible. He hands her one earring and leaves. When Ten escapes, no one believes he saw Bablo, and they blame it on his drinking habit. Dimpy hopes Bablo finds the woman soon, so she can get out of this mess. When the lights are back, she notices she is holding her own earring in her hand. In the morning, the men are being taken away to confront Rakesh. His location was revealed when Rakesh made a call to his mother. They reach the building, and Shohori's men head inside while Ten takes care of Bablo and the others. Bablo makes an excuse to pee, but seeks the opportunity to run away. Bablo charges towards the building and tries to find a faster way in to warn Rakesh. While he takes the stairs, Shohori's men are delayed waiting for the elevator. Bablo jumps between buildings and reaches the balcony where Rakesh is hiding. He explains that he was kidnapped by Renu's family and that Shohori's men are there. Turns out he knew about their plan all along. Shohori's men are at their door now, and Bablo knows he needs to save them. Even if Renu almost falls as Shohori's men come in, he manages to hold on to her and helps her escape with Rakesh. Bablo spots a bus and helps them board it while it's still moving. Karen and Jitish spot them, but they stay quiet. Bablo promises to handle the situation and asks them to take care. This time too, when Ten claims Bablo has fled, no one believes him. That's also because he is standing right in front of them when this happens. Shalu feels the love story brewing between Bablo and Dimpy is adorable, but she is not interested. She just wants to find the love letters and get out of the basement. Bablo and the others are brought back there, and while Dimpy hides, Shalu pretends to be cleaning the place. Dimpy gets stuck with the men, who are angry at Bablo for knowing about Rakesh's location all along and not sharing it. Bablo knows he had to keep it a secret, since the others crack very easily under pressure. Dimpy tries to find a way to stay hidden, and soon enough, gets hold of the letters. She knows she has to run away before anyone spots her, and manages to do it. In her room, Dimpy praises the man who helped Renu and Rakesh all along selflessly, without mentioning his name. Pappy overhears this and immediately confronts her. She denies knowing anything, so Pappy asks for Bablo and his friends to be presented outside. Pappy drags her outside by her hair brutally, to make her identify the man. The last man standing is Bablo, and she is forced to come face to face with him. Bablo finally knows the love of his life has been Dimpy all along, and nothing can take away from that happiness. She finds herself in a very tough position, and finally looks up to identify him. Under Shohari's supervision, Buppy starts beating Bablo to get the location. Shohari is frustrated by his silence, and instructs his men to murder his friends to give him an incentive. When Bablo hears someone pull the trigger, he reveals that Rakesh and Renu are in Delhi. They all prepare to leave for Delhi as Dimpy watches. Bablo calls out to Dimpy in front of everyone, and asks if she loves someone. Ignoring Rajjo's anger, Bablo claims he wants to reassure everyone that she would not run away in their absence. This has the exact effect on Shohari Bablo hopes for, since he asks Dimpy to come along. Bablo's dream of spending more time with her seems to be coming true, and he imagines himself dancing with her. He isn't worried about his friends being in Delhi, because he knows Rakesh and Renu boarded the bus to Shimla. Sadly, they both are right behind them at that point. The police commissioner comes to Shohari's aid, but doesn't give any results. Bablo feels victorious, and claims that he will make the Jats run around to find the pair. He makes sure Shohari is within hearing distance, while mentioning his suspicions about Rakesh being in a temple. Shohari prays with Dimpy, and Bablo catches up to her when she is away from her father. He confesses his feelings for her, and asks her to give him a chance. Ten is suspicious of them, but it doesn't take Bablo much time to convince strangers to beat him up. He finds Dimpy again, but she's still not interested, and asks him to find another woman to fall in love with. When he comes too close to her, she turns away, but spots Shohari and the men coming towards them. Bablo grabs her hand and hands it over to Shohari, insisting that he needs to take better care of her with so many strange men running around. His next random suggestion leads them to a court. A couple sitting next to them grab attention, since the woman starts bawling frantically. The man isn't worried about his fiancée missing her father. He used to be her father's driver, but they fell in love and eloped. He knows her fiancé's father has to accept him eventually, especially after they are married. Shohari doesn't understand how people like him get the guts to be so careless, and how a woman like her can just abandon her father. Luckily for the couple, Pappy comes back from the court and informs Shohari that there is no trace of Rakesh and Renu there. Bablo leaves no room for doubt, and stands under Dimpy's window at night. The next day at the train station, Dimpy sits alone while the others ask around for Renu. Bablo joins her to show her a marriage form he has signed, so they can get married. She feels this is getting extreme, and tries to dismiss him. The focus is shifted elsewhere when someone feels they spotted Renu in a van. Everyone starts chasing the van, and they ask the passengers to get out. They're not too happy, and Renu is clearly not in the van. When they're walking back, Bablo and Shohari realize something at the same time. Panic sets in when neither of them can find Dimpy at the station. She has been kidnapped by a group of creepy men, who try to force her sexually. Bablo keeps running, till he spots something on the road which alerts him about Dimpy being nearby. He knows to check the abandoned building, and soon finds Dimpy surrounded by the men. Bablo's anger knows no bounds, and thankfully, he's a very good fighter. He starts beating up all of them together one by one. Shohari also reaches the building and hugs Dimpy. When Bablo is done bashing up the men, he comes over to scold Dimpy about not sticking together with them. Rajjo tries to silence him, but Shohari intervenes, and is grateful to him for saving his daughter. Dimpy thanks Bablo for saving her, but he feels she can't be saved while she's trapped by her father. It's clear that her family treats women very badly, and he wants her to fight for her rights. He cares about her dreams, and takes her to a party so she can have fun. He even arranges for some women to help her so she can fulfill her dream of walking the ramp for a night. At this point, Dimpy has warmed up to him and imagines kissing him. Shohari reaches a guest house and finds a piece of clothing that was Renu's. The owner confirms that the couple rented that room. It's time for Shohari to get drunk and frustrated, while a concerned Bablo looks out for him. Shohari can't forget how dirty the lodge was, and feels disgusted that someone was keeping his daughter there. He knows he has sacrificed everything to become a good father, and has treated his daughters like princesses from the time they were born. This is why it doesn't make sense to him that Renu would be comfortable living with a man in a room like that. Shohari has lost his respect, honor, and his daughter. Just when Bablo starts feeling bad for him, a drunk Shohari also announces that he'll murder Renu the day he finds her, for disgracing him like this. Dimpy comes over to share tea with Bablo the next morning, and asks if he thinks Renu will get caught. She used to blame Renu, but knows now that people should be free to live their lives. She wants her freedom too, and asks if he can help her run away. Shohari watches them from a distance, and starts running towards them as she tells Bablo she loves him. Shohari charges in that direction, but pushes them away to run after a bus since he has spotted Renu. Bablo joins him in the chase and finds out that Renu is truly in that bus. She stops the bus, despite Rakesh's protests, to meet her father. Shohari's men surround them and prepare to beat Rakesh. Bablo intervenes and fights off everyone who tries to come near them. He begs Shohri to forgive them, but he pushes him aside to slap Rakesh. Finally, Renu stands in front of Rakesh and threatens to call the cops if Shohri keeps beating her husband. Renu wonders if it is so wrong to fall in love, that people keep chasing them around like dogs across cities. Shohri feels he's the dog here, since he has been running around and traveling everywhere to make sure she is safe. He picks up his slippers and asks her for forgiveness, for caring so much about her as her father. Pappy gives Renu a choice to save her life, if she admits Rakesh kidnapped her. When she refuses, Pappy makes them sit down and starts preparations to end them both. Renu has accepted her fate, but before anyone can pull the trigger, she announces that she's pregnant. This breaks Shohri, since he declares she is already deceased to him. He spares her life, but takes Dimpy away with him. Dimpy tries to talk to Bablo, but Shohri summons him. He apologizes to Bablo and his friends for the inconvenience and asks them to come to Dimpy's wedding, an arranged marriage with Rajsho. When they leave, Bablo's friends try to comfort him. He looks up to find Dimpy looking at him, but when Buppy approaches her to take her away, he turns away and lets her go. Bablo keeps thinking about Dimpy, and she, too, can't get him out of her mind. Neither of them is happy. Dimpy is about to get married and feels devastated. During the pre-wedding ceremonies, she imagines herself with Bablo, but when she comes back to reality, she walks out in frustration. She picks up the marriage certificate Bablo gave her and cries with it. Bablo's friends offer their full support in case he wants to elope. They head towards Dimpy's village when her wedding day has arrived. She is devastated and shares her feelings with Shalu. She finally understands why Renu eloped, since she has been separated from Bablo. She knows her father only took her to Delhi because he doesn't trust her. Shohri overhears this conversation and knows Dimpy is not happy with the wedding. He looks around and suddenly has a lot to worry about when he learns Bablo and his friends have arrived. Shohri can tell Dimpy is very happy to see Bablo and runs after them himself to find Bablo alone. When he finally finds Bablo, he takes him away to talk. In a secluded corner, Shohri seems hassled, but tries to engage in small talk with Bablo. He knows something is wrong when Shohri requests him to stay with him till the end of the wedding. His friends are planning to help Dimpy escape with Shalu's help. Someone forces Shohri to get dressed for the wedding, but he refuses to leave Bablo's side. He is forced anyway and runs to get dressed in a hurry. Bablo finds his friends and asks them about Dimpy. He watches her walk down towards him, looking beautiful in her wedding dress. Shohri is back, but panics even more to find Bablo missing, and imagines him running away with Dimpy. Bablo and Dimpy are finally alone, and she confesses that she cannot live without him. She doesn't know how to tell her father, but Bablo knows that Shohri already knows about them. Shohri is relieved to find Dimpy in her room. She approaches him to thank him for the way he has treated her all her life. She is scared of going to a place where he won't be there to protect her, but knows she can learn to live with that fear, just to make him happy. She bends down to take his blessings, and Shohri starts crying with her. He leaves without looking at her, and asks the women to help her get ready. Outside the room, he finds Bablo and takes him along. He reminds Bablo that his daughter is getting married, and wants to know his intentions. Bablo is frank about his feelings for Dimpy, and knows he is not scared to run away with her. He knows how Shohri feels as a father now, after getting to know him much better. Bablo has always been happy in his life, but after looking at Shohri's condition that day, he feels sad for the first time. Bablo wants Shohri to know how scared he felt when Dimpy went missing for a few minutes. He compares that pain to Shohri's pain when Renu went missing, and finally knows that he understands. Shohri's reputation is also very important for him, which is why he is desperate to see this wedding through, even if it leads to Dimpy's unhappiness. Since they both love her the most, Bablo refuses to run away with Dimpy and shame him again. Bablo leaves with his friends, but Rajsho decides to drive up to them with his gang. He knows how much Bablo loves Dimpy and wants him to pay. Jaidish requests him to leave them alone, but Rajsho has decided to murder Bablo that day. He instructs his men to start beating Bablo, and this time, he lets them all beat him without protesting. Rajsho rips his shirt, but Bablo still doesn't protest. When Rajsho makes a crude comment about how he can now peacefully sleep with Dimpy, Bablo can't tolerate this insult, and finally throws a very strong punch at him. Bablo is back and ready to beat Rajsho. He clearly has the upper hand in this fight, but just when he is about to finish off Rajsho with the rod, he spots Shohri. Bablo decides to spare him and tries to walk away. Shohri doesn't let him leave and wants to understand why Dimpy loves him so much. Bablo still insists he will not take away Shohri's right to get his daughter married wherever he wants. Shohri teases Bablo about not sparing his life if he can't keep Dimpy happy. Bablo knows Shohri is finally blessing their union, so he walks up to Dimpy and hugs her tightly. Shohri's men know the rules seem to have changed and confirm if they are allowed to fall in love too. Dimpy and Bablo come to take his blessings, and Bablo asks him to forgive Renu and Rakesh too. Since Shohri has warmed up to him, he agrees to pardon them.